'Tis the season. Christmas is upon us, and whether we're ready or not. The Christmas star. The Christmas star drew many from afar, those who were wise in the way of the stars and those whose hearts were just stirred by the phenomena that was taking place. A greater light was returning to the planet. Prophecy had foretold of a great one to return. The whole world, whether they knew it or not, could feel something. A world in darkness and bondage was collectively beckoning a prayer of hope. This prayer was conscious by some, but for most it was the collective unconscious of humanity. Let love return to earth. It's a universal prayer. Let love return to earth. It's a prayer for then, it's a prayer for now. Let love return to earth. The collective unconscious of humanity beckoning forth. Let love return to earth. So, Christmas, God's gift to the world. I'll read this one passage which I am sure you are all aware of. I'll give the book, you give me the verse. John 3:16. Yay, you guys. Okay. For God so loved the world that he even gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. God did not send his Son to condemn the earth. I think that's been lost in translation. God is love. We are love. To look at it that way. So as that collective prayer beckoned out, this beautiful soul, Jesus the Christ, returns. And that gift of love that shines upon us all and still shines within us all, to begin to look at life like that. God's gift to the world, to the whole world. The Christmas story is a never-ending story of love. And once we begin to look at a never-ending story of love, and that God is love, Christ is love, we can take a whole new look at life and experience it with a different perspective. Stories are containers of experience. Stories are containers of experience. Isn't that a neat little definition of stories? And aren't our stories just the definition of all our experiences? And too often we live in our stories. We get lost in our stories and we're trapped by our stories. So to begin to understand that stories are just containers of the experience. It's not who we are. People have been looking at their story or stories for instruction on what to do next. That collective call from the unconscious humanity was that this story isn't working. Where's the love? Where's the joy? Where's the happiness? Where's the peace? Deep within all of our hearts, we know that. We don't have to be told that in our own unique expression, our own understanding of what life brings to us. And then we beacon out that call. Each of us have our own unique prayer to God, asking for that which would fulfill our life story. So to understand the Christmas story gets lost and commercialized a lot, but really stemmed from that collective calling. Let there be hope. Let there be love return to earth. And as we begin to open our hearts to that story, that can be added into our prayers every day. Let there be hope in my life. Let love return to earth in all life. So people had been looking at their story or their stories for instruction on what to do next. And they weren't looking to God. And that was the glitch in the system. To look to our stories for answers and not God. And for the most part, someone else wrote our story, or we wrote it. And we're mere humans when we could be tapping into that divine essence and creativity that runs to and through all of life. So people were trapped in their stories at that time. And it's interesting when we begin to look at our life, and we could look at our life and we could ask ourselves, am I trapped in any of my stories? Am I trapped in any of my stories? When we get trapped in our story, we usually lose ourselves. There's a loyalty to our story rather than the loyalty to our true self. And who are we but the sons, the daughters of God, Creator? Jesus came to reveal that it was time to turn the page. Turn back to Source. Turn back to Creator. Get back in touch with who you truly are, who we truly are. To begin anew, and an old phrase is to be born anew. To be born again. And that makes some people cringe because it's got too much old-time religion. But to be born anew, in a new consciousness. A man must lose his life to find his life. A man must lose his own old identity. Do you see? The identity that we put in stories in our history. To lose that, to gain our new identity. The identity that Jesus revealed to us, that we are the sons and daughters of God. To look at our Christmas story just a little bit differently. And gosh, it is fun when we find ourselves. We're filled with joy, and there isn't anything we can't do. So why not go there? That's the question we can have. We make choices every day. We all make choices every day. But like, what reference point are we making our choices from? Are we making our reference point from our mere humanness, which would create limitation in our experience and most of the time not that fulfilling? Or are we going to use the reference point that we are spirit, we're divine, we are the sons and daughters of God, creators, creators. As we begin to move into that identity, that's when we're truly free. We're truly free. Each day we're born anew to create anew that which would serve our soul. And it's a beautiful gift. We ask for that. Our collective soul asks for that. Let there be love on earth. The light shone, the Christmas star, the light that shines on us and through us all. It's a beautiful time of the year, but we can tap into that energy every day. But a lot of people are trapped in that story. And they can be nice and buy gifts and things once a year. How's that? When it's every day. See? So we are the creators of our stories, and this is what Jesus really brought and showed us. Love is the redeemer of our story. We are the creators of our story, but love is a redeemer. Now when we go to God, we can get a different perspective. We can look at life in a whole new vantage point and make maybe a different choice. We are the creators of our stories. Love is the redeemer. And so as we begin to create, to begin to look for the love in the experience that we're having. Has anyone ever said this? I'm not feeling the love. I'm not feeling the love here. And a lot of times we have to look because we're expecting love to look a certain way. Divine love is acceptance. Acceptance, acceptance. To find the love in our unique life experiences, we oftentimes have to look a little deeper because there's a thread of love weaving through all of our experience, through life experience, all experiences. The experience that are comfortable for us, love's weaving through them. the experiences that aren't comfortable, that are uncomfortable, love is weaving through them. The experiences that are familiar to us, love is weaving through that. The experiences that aren't familiar to us, love is weaving through that. The experiences that are peaceful and joyful and loving, love. Those that are shocking, love. For God is in all. God is in all things. To look at it like that, to look a little different. Now we got to go into that vibration of love, the light within our hearts, ramp that up, and that love will allow us to transcend our limitations. Because for the most part, we look at life from our human eyes every day. A couple times of the year we'll put on our spiritual glasses and look at life a different way. But as we begin to look at life every day, with our spiritual eyes, that's when we can begin to see the true gift of life. Christmas, God's gift to the world. This world is such a gift, and yet we walk by it because we don't love it. We don't love the world and all the life force on it. We don't love people and all the different people, and they're our family. That's old story. The new story is love. Love Mother Earth. That's where the kids, I love the little kids. It's just their essence. They love everything. And that's what they're altruistic, and they start all these movements about helping Mother Earth and cleaning the water and air and ecology and diet, nutrition, and everything. Because they're wired to the new story. And that's why the scripture is, and the children shall guide them, and the children shall lead them. You see? As we begin to look at children differently as souls, come to the planet to do stuff, just like we came to the planet to do stuff. So all of our experience that we have, to begin to look for the love that's weaving it all together. And it does make sense, and there is divine order in life. And as we begin to look at it from that perspective, our life begins to make sense to us. Our story becomes valid to us. And then we're not just a player in our story, we're the author of our story. And then we have the opportunity to change, maybe rewrite our lines. A new ending. Find the love, find the higher perspective. We were created to live beyond and above all stories. And that's when, that's where Jesus, the Christ, comes in, our spiritual identity. We are the sons and daughters of God. We are created to live beyond and above all stories. When we say like man got trapped in matter, man got trapped in matter. Spirit's descent into matter. So to begin to look at it like that's not our destiny. It's not our destiny. So to begin to understand like who we really are, and that's where Jesus said, God is our Father. God's your Father. You are the Son of God, the daughter of God. Go forth and prosper. Go forth and prosper. Your life is special unto itself. Your life is special unto itself. Everyone is a unique expression of God's love. And there's only one person that knows who you are, and that's you. So to begin to go within and ask and begin to see and understand and know who you are, and then to live who you are, that's the gift of Christmas. That's the gift of Christ coming forth, the love I am. Your life is special and unique. You know, we always talk, there's a phrase, the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. So we teach here relative truth and absolute truth. And truth can be relative because it can be always changing. Our truth today can be changed tomorrow or yesterday or a year ago or when we were kids. We're continually growing and evolving our consciousness, and so that relative truth is always changing. But then when we teach about absolute truth, unchanging truth, God's love is absolute truth. That's the truth I am, unchanging. And so when we say the truth will set you free, yeah, God's love will set you free, because that's the absolute truth. And instead of playing in degrees of love, we can ascend to a higher level of consciousness of what really love is. And it doesn't look like anything that we would think it would look like, because what we think it would look like has already been written in our story or someone else's story. So to be creator, to connect with God, allowing that divine essence to flow through us, what does love look like for me? We all have that answer within us. We all know what love looks like to us, and we gravitate toward that and try to manifest it and create it. But to begin to transcend that, we have to live to that higher level, to not be trapped by our stories. God is absolute truth. God's love is absolute truth, and that's what frees us. As we go through life and look, like, what am I doing? And we're all stories. Stories, containers for experience. Containers for experience. So, do you know what containers do? Contain. They contain us. To begin to allow Spirit, love, to free us from the containers that we've created to limit our expression, because someone told us that's who we are. That's what we can do. That's all you can do. You see? That's what Jesus came. That's the old story. That's the old paradigm. We've been trying to break free of the old story for 2,000 years. We live now in an Aquarian age of spiritual enlightenment and communication and brotherhood, things like this. And that's what allows us to lift. See, when one is lifted, all are lifted. And then we start communicating at that level of consciousness, we lift the whole. We not only lift ourselves, but we lift the whole. And that's how we can begin to transform life on the planet. So we can be the gift that God gave to the world. You see, we are supposed to be the gift that God gave to the world. We're supposed to be the love made manifest in our unique expression, our uniqueness. And everyone has a unique part to play, a unique tone. We have to trust that. We have to trust that love, that light that's within us, and then just share it. So the story wasn't working out, and so we have this beautiful, radiant light, Jesus, come to wake us all up to remember who we really are, some of the things that he gave us to do, and that we could look at, some new definitions, a new definition of God. God is love. That was a new one back then. And you are the children of God. That was a new one back then. To begin to see God differently, to see ourselves differently. And then an action step he gave us to do was to just be that love. Just be who you are. You don't have to do anything, just be who you are. And when we begin to get into that state of beingness, our natural gift will express from who we are, no matter what we're doing. And everyone is integral. We are all integral to the whole. Well, we got to understand that we're part of the whole. We're part of the whole. And once we can go there, now we can play the part we came to play, and we can share what people came to share, and celebrate that, to celebrate life. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to look at. So when Jesus gave us these new definitions and new directives, you know, we all begin to look at our story and change our story. And the life has evolved a little bit on planet Earth. We still have a long ways to go. But happy endings are created by souls that step outside their story. Happy endings are created by souls that step outside their story. I think when we begin to understand that we are a soul, we give ourselves permission to step outside of our story because we are creators. And we all know people that have been stuck in their stories, haven't they? Even if we haven't been. Why are you still with that guy? Hey, that's a good story. It's like, why are you still in that job? You know what I'm saying? Thought you were going to go on a diet. Just all this stupid stuff. You see? We're all have opportunities to change and shift. We have to choose. When we align with our divinity, that allows us to transcend, to lift above the containers that we've wrapped around ourselves, containing our experiences. They say you can't teach old dog new tricks. We're not dogs, and I don't believe that anyways. Y'all got dogs, you know you can teach them. And it's really cool. But see, we're getting out of the labels and the containers that we have given each other in life. And that's the true gift. When the prayer went out from our collective unconscious of humanity, hope, let love return, it returned. And now, 2,000 years later, it's our opportunity to really make our life work, to be who we came to be, to step out of our story. When we're true to ourselves, when we're true to our loved ones, and we're true to the love that weaves through our story, is when we transcend. Being true to ourselves. Being true to ourselves. Being true to our loved ones. They're the ones loving us and supporting us at this moment in time. And then being true to love. It's real. It's an energy. It's an essence. It's creative. It's creative, and it's who we really are. To begin that new story, you know, when Jesus came, people, this story isn't working. This story isn't working. There's this great soul that's going to return. The Messiah returns. Jesus says, I got to end that story. I got to end the story that people need someone to save them. I'm going to begin the new story that people can begin to go within their hearts and know that there in their hearts resides that Christ light, that presence of God. And you can do whatever you choose to do. You can create whatever you create to do. You save yourself, in essence. You be the creator of your story. Don't let someone put you in a container. So in that process of his coming and living as love, the love of God made manifest, Jesus the Christ didn't do what people wanted him to do or expected him to do. He was true to himself. He was true to love. And he was true to us. Because that is the greatest gift that we could get, and that's the gift that he freed us with. It's a cool story. The old story had to end. The old story has to end. It's still going on for a lot of people. But that's what his life did. Ended the old story and began the new one. To work in harmony and alignment with that light, that love I am in God. Ending the old story, beginning the new. Now's the time to honor life, all of life. Now's the time to love and be who we are. Now's the time to honor our personal integrity. Personal integrity is very important. When we truly know who we are, because then we can truly be who we are. And it's very important to honor community. It's very important to honor community, especially at this moment in time on planet Earth, because we are one community. And when one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. That's our gift. That's the gift that we can share. This will allow us to transcend and rise above all the stories. It'll allow us to grab a hold of that strand of love that's weaving through all the stories and lift us higher. The collective prayer today on the planet Earth, and I know a lot of you can hear it, I can hear it. Let love return to earth. Let love return to earth. Let that be your prayer this week as we go forth. It can be at the beginning of a meditation or the end of a meditation, the beginning of our prayers, the ending of our prayers. It's like when we pray, we're accessing God so that we can be showered with that love of God. And when we meditate, we're lifting up into that energy. It's beautiful to pray and meditate, to allow for oneness to really begin to develop within our consciousness, to strengthen the knowing I am. The gift of the birth of Jesus the Christ 2,000 years ago, the birth of the Christ within our heart today, it's the same. All we have to do is accept it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful life we have to live. Let's go within. So let's just close our eyes once again and breathe. And as you breathe in, I want you to ask, I ask to feel your love, Father. So just breathe in God's love. I ask to feel your love, Father. And with each breath, just feel your heart begin to expand in God's love. And begin to radiate out and flood through your whole body. Feel God's love from the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet, to your fingertips. Call forth the light from within your heart. I call forth my inner light, that Christ light I am. And just breathe and just be aware of your heart beginning to grow and expand bigger and brighter and more radiant with each breath. Until it expands and floods through your whole body and see your body filled with light. From the top of your head to the bottoms of your feet to your fingertips. And just breathe and feel. Be still and know. This is who you are. I am the love of God made manifest. I am the light of Christ. Be still and know. As I align with the truth, I am love, I am light. I have the ability to be free, to be the creator I came to be, and to know love every day in my everyday experience of life. For life is love. God is in all. God is love. So just breathe and feel your unique vibration. Be still and know. This is who you are. This is who I am. Breathe and feel. This is your gift to God. This is your gift to the world. Breathe and feel. Gently wiggle your toes and fingers and gently open your eyes. Prayer is powerful, individually and collectively. And when we begin to take that step and to move into oneness with all of life, our prayer will be aligned with all prayer. And that's when that synergy can happen. And if the collective unconscious of humanity drew the presence of Jesus the Christ then, we can draw the presence of Jesus the Christ now. And they all said, "Yea, God."